Cool. All right, so
we're off.
We are off.
So what is the meaning of life?
I think we create our own meaning.
The end.
Sean and I grew up in the same neighborhood, a 15-minute walk from each other's houses. I don't think it's a stretch to say that I spent more adolescent hours with Sean than any other person my age.
We haven't really seen each other for 6 years.
I mean, 6 years since we've seen each other, but that was just like one night that we saw each other. It's been years since we've hung out this much.
To what degree do people change, do you believe?
I feel that I haven't changed myself, I've changed the environment that I'm in. More than anything, I've realized like how I work. Yes, take a left.
So it's not necessarily like changing dramatically how you function, but it's more learning in which context you best function and like molding your environment so that it resembles that.
I feel like maybe I haven't changed, but that's just because it's happened so slowly. I didn't notice, you know?
Life is 80% perception and 20% reality.
I wasn't doing very well in my early 20s. You know, I wasn't on like a path to success. When there's this huge gap between people saying like, oh, you have a lot of potential, you could do good, if not great things, and then the reality is that I'm not doing anything. You're gonna be extremely hard on yourself. Learning to forgive yourself for your failures is super important. On the other hand, maybe the reason that I am able to now be kind to myself or forgive myself is because I am now doing well. So maybe it's just like I'm like, it's okay because, we want to take a left here. Why did you want to start doing this series?
I guess maybe in a sense I'm like trying to imbue turning 30 with additional meaning. Because it is kind of an arbitrary number, and I acknowledge that, but if I can make it into this concrete point of sharing of meaning, then I can give it a greater significance than it would otherwise have.
This goes back to what we said at the very beginning, that like the question that you jokingly asked, which is what's the meaning of life? And my answer is, I think we create our own meaning. And you could very easily go through life without having done that very much at all. You can go through the motions. We have to make an effort to create meaning in our lives, and I think that's super important. I don't know. Like, I had these like really high like standards for myself. The high standards combined with like not actually doing well in like my early 20s created this horrible feeling. It's like Buddhism talks about how like expectations are like kind of what creates suffering. Like having expectations will ultimately lead to reality differing from those expectations. As long as you like do your best and live by like a system that you believe in, like that's all you can really hope for. And it's okay like when things don't turn out completely explained.
That's easier said than done, is to be okay with your life as is.
That's something that I reached a really low point, you know, like I was shooting up heroin like for a while, like daily, like I was an addict. And your expectations and like of yourself will only like bend so much before they break, and you're like, you know what, like I have no more expectations because I have like reached complete bottom. Like whatever happens, as long as I'm like moving forward at all, as long as I'm doing something, I'm okay with that, because that is way better than where I was before.
Given like the experiences that you've had and like the journey that you've had and what you're telling me now, like what would be your advice to the average person?
Like, I don't know, you have to find what works for you, and this is just like, this is what I found, and I don't know if I can like, if I can apply that to other people's lives.
You can't ultimately extrapolate some easy and pat suggestion from any one life, except then the very general encouragement to like keep seeking meaning in your life in whatever way like is appropriate.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's go hike this trail.
Cool, sounds good.
Awesome.
turn 30 a month before you do.
November 11th?
November 21st.
Way off.